Last briefing, I gave you the surge tank, the buffer that absorbs the first shock. Today, the curve that runs from year 0 to year 30. The line that decides how much risk you carry as you age. Every textbook draws this line as a slope, a descent. You start retirement with stocks, you finish with bonds. Risk is supposed to fall as you age. That is what conventional planning says. And it is wrong. Not slightly wrong, structurally wrong. The glide path is pointed the wrong way. I am the yield architect. This is Briefing 21, the inverted glide path. In construction, a building is most vulnerable when it is youngest. The concrete has not cured, the frame has not bonded, the load paths are still forming. So engineers wrap the structure in scaffolding, heavy support at the moment of greatest fragility. And then, as the building stiffens, the scaffolding comes down, stage by stage, floor by floor, until the structure stands on its own. Scaffolding is heaviest when the building is weakest. Scaffolding is lightest when the building is strongest. That is the right shape. Now look at the conventional retirement glide path. It does the opposite. It strips scaffolding away from the building precisely when the concrete is wettest. Year 0 of retirement, when sequence risk is highest, conventional planning says, hold more stocks. Year 25, when sequence risk has decayed to near 0, conventional planning says, hold more bonds. The slope runs the wrong direction. The support is removed from the moment that needed it most, and added to the moment that did not need it at all. That is the inverted glide path, and the fix is to flip it. If this is the first time you have seen the conventional glide path called wrong, tap like and stay with me. 2 retirees, both 65, both with $1 million, both withdrawing $40,000 per year. The first follows the conventional path, 60% stocks at retirement. The slope descends from there. By year 30, she holds 20% stocks. Safer with age, the textbook says. The second follows the bond tent. She retires into 30% stocks. 3/4 of her portfolio is bonds, heavy scaffolding at the weakest moment. And every year, for 15 years, she adds 3 percentage points to equity. She climbs as she ages. By year 15, she holds 75% stocks, and she stays there. Now we test them. A brutal first 5 years, a 30% drop in year 1. Years 2 through 5 are choppy. The conventional retiree sells stocks while they are falling because she is heavy in them. The bond tent retiree withdraws from her dominant bond position, leaving equity untouched. Year 5. The conventional portfolio is at $640,000. The bond tent portfolio is at $790,000. A $150,000 gap opened in 5 years. Year 15. Conventional at $410. Bond tent at $920. Year 30. The conventional portfolio is gone. It ran out at year 22. The bond tent portfolio still holds $850,000. 2 retirees. Same starting capital. Same withdrawal rate. Same markets. One survives, one does not. The glide path made the difference. The conventional glide path fails 3 ways. Failure 1. Too much equity at the moment of greatest fragility. The first decade of retirement carries roughly 80% of sequence risk. The textbook glide path sits at 60 or 70% stocks in that decade. That is the wettest concrete with the lightest scaffolding. Failure 2. Too little equity at the moment of greatest opportunity. Once you survive the first decade, longevity risk takes over. You need growth to outrun inflation across the next 20 years. The textbook Glidepath sits at 20 or 30% stocks in that window. That is the cured concrete wrapped in scaffolding it does not need. Failure 3. The curve is mechanical. It descends on a schedule, regardless of what the market actually did. A bad first decade does not change the glide path. A great first decade does not change the glide path. The structure does not respond to the load. Engineering does not work that way. Real load-bearing systems adjust to the stress they actually face. The conventional glide path does not. If you are 5 to 15 years from retirement or already in it, this is the decision that decides whether the structure holds. Stay with me. The retrofit has 3 parameters. 1. The starting allocation. Year 0 of retirement, equity is the minority position. 30% stocks, 70% bonds. The bond position is the scaffolding. It absorbs withdrawals during the most fragile years. 2. The ramp. Over the next 15 years, the equity allocation rises at roughly 3 percentage points per year. Each year, a piece of scaffolding comes down. Each year, the structure carries more of its own weight. By year 15, the portfolio holds 75% stocks. The scaffolding is gone. 3. The plateau. From year 15 onward, the allocation stabilizes. 75% stocks, 25% bonds. That is the steady state. Plotted on a chart, the bond line forms a tent, a peak at year 0, a slope down for 15 years, a flat shelf for the rest of the plan. That is the bond tent. It is not a market timing strategy. It is not a tactical reallocation. It is a structural protocol that runs on the calendar. Year by year, the scaffolding comes down on schedule. The retiree does not have to make a decision. The structure does the work. The result is not a small gain. It is a structural shift in survival rates. Run 1,000 historical sequences against both strategies. Same starting capital, same withdrawal rate, same withdrawal pattern. Only the glide path changes. The conventional descending glide path survives 67% of those sequences. A third of the time, the retiree runs out. The bond tent survives 91%. Less than 1 in 10 retirees runs out. That is a structural improvement, and it comes from the same dollars, the same accounts, the same withdrawal rules. Only the timing of the scaffolding changed. Heavy support early, light support late, the structure stands. Why this matters? The conventional glide path is taught everywhere. It is the default in target date funds. It is the default in retirement calculators. It is the default in advisor models. And it carries a structural flaw that compounds across the most vulnerable decade of a retiree's life. The bond tent is not obscure. It has been published in peer-reviewed retirement research for over a decade. The math is not in dispute. What is missing is implementation. Most retirees never hear it explained as engineering. They hear it explained as a clever tactic. It is not a tactic, it is a load-bearing protocol. And it costs nothing extra to install. The same dollars, the same accounts, a different schedule of scaffolding removal. That is the entire retrofit. If you have not subscribed yet, do that now. The Blueprint Room runs on the assumption that retirement is engineering, not lifestyle, not optimism. Engineering. Each briefing adds one structural protocol to your plan. Subscribe so the next one finds you. Site report, briefing 21, the inverted glide path. Finding 1. The conventional descending equity glide path inverts the actual risk profile of retirement. Finding 2. The first decade of retirement carries roughly 80% of sequence risk. The scaffolding belongs there, not later. Finding 3. After the first decade, longevity risk dominates the structure, and only equity solves longevity. Finding 4. The bond tent, a rising equity glide path that climbs from 30% to 75% over 15 years, historically survives 91% of sequences against the conventional model's 67. Finding 5. The retrofit costs nothing. It redistributes the same dollars on a smarter timeline. Class dismissed.